Yep. I believe we're live. I believe we're live. Hello, everybody. This is Mike from Mike's Magic Auto Detailing and Paint Enhancement here in sunny Sharpsburg, Georgia. Not a bad day outside, weather-wise, as we grow nigh onto Christmas here. Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas. I just wanted to bring you guys back right quick for a relatively short vid on our progress the last couple of days. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Mike doesn't make short videos. But yeah, we've been working on this. I think it's a 2013 Accura SUV something another. Oh boy. Yeah, man, what a marathon. Here's some of the stuff I've been using. There's a little very soft polishing pad. Man, I've had all kinds of pads and buffers and rags and compounds and polishes out. This is my headlamp. Very bright. A little bit pricey. Pretty important to have when you're doing in-depth paint correction like that. It's really bright. Yeah, it helps you to see what you're doing on the paint. Ooh, see there? Ooh, that's bright, folks. And it has a sensor in it where you can just wave your hand in front of the sensor and it turns on and back off again, along with your inspection light, which is standing right there. Between the two of them, you can really see what you're doing. But completed this driver's side on this thing, which I knew was going to be a tough situation because there were some really deep scratches. And I coined, I think it's, what do you call it, an acronym? You know, this business, we call them RIDSs and stuff like that. That stands for random isolated deep scratches. I think I've coined a new one which stands for, I call it RDS, which is really deep scratches. And this front part here wasn't that bad, really. I was able to use the forced rotation buffer and a one step with an orange Lake Country pad, and it spiffed right up rather quickly. Very little compounding had to be done on that one. There was some scratching that I had to do that. Basically the same thing up through here. Had to get the little 3-inch buffer out to get all that right up in there. The mirror, had to get my, what I call the nano polisher out to get all this right here. You have to be careful with this piano black paint, folks. It's very fragile. You can't do a whole lot to it. But the mirrors turned out all right. I might do see if I can do a little bit more work on this one. Maybe, I don't know. I got all up in there. You can see everything's taped off for two reasons, really. To protect the rubber gaskets and the moldings and that, and also to make cleanup a little bit easier, because I don't care who you are. Hey, Jan, Michael. How you doing, brother? I don't care who you are, what product you're using, what technique you're using. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jan, Michael, but all of this stuff will dust to some degree. And nothing drives me crazier than trying to dig all that dusting out of these little cracks and crevices. I did the pillar post. There again, you got to be careful with that stuff, and some of what you see is actually defects in the paint itself, Dan Michael, and some nibs, and if you try to get rid of them, all you're left is with a white, I guess it's some kind of primer underneath. So you got to be very careful. There's still some scratching in there, but I think those are as good as they can get. Came on down, got all up in here. Oh boy. Yeah, that one's okay. All of this here, this wasn't too bad right here. Just buffing, Jan Michael got this, and Miss Linda, without too much of a problem. But all down through there was what I call really deep scratches. I mean deep, deep, deep. And they ran from the driver's door all the way down this rear door, all the way down to this rear panel. I mean, they were very, very deep. So all of this had to be damp sanded. I hand sanded some of it, machine sanded the rest of it, and went ahead and just sanded all the whole panels. Some of it, Jan Michael, with 1,000 grit, and then of course you got to bump up to 1,500 and 3,000 to make it where you can compound it. Whew, boy. So the whole thing was done, and I paid particular attention to those really deep scratches. But, you know, some of them are still there, but, you know, from, you know, a couple feet away, you don't really see them. I don't know if you can see that one right there in this lighting. So that's really deep scratch, but it's barely noticeable now. And there was a few around this door handle here, which were hard to reduce. They were very visible. I mean, I think you might can see that right there. It's more of a rock chip than anything else. But I don't know if y'all can see those scratches or not, but they were deep, really, really deep. Yeah, you can still see them if you get up close, but the glaringness of them is way reduced substantially, where if you're more than a couple of feet away, you're not going to see them anymore. And there were some real deep scratches, a long one that ran almost the whole length here, and I was able to pretty much get rid of it almost altogether. I mean, you really have to get down close and look. And there was something gouged the paint right there. I mean, that is so deep. Whew. And there were some rock chips. That PPF down there messed up pretty good. But I am ecstatic with how it turned out. There was a really deep scratch here. The gas cap was really scratched up very badly. There was a scratch that ran all the way down here that you could catch your fingernail on, Jan Michael. And I mean, if you get a really bright light out and maybe in the sunlight and you get up nose to the paint, as I call it, yeah, you can still find it, but you really got to hunt for it. So I am very pleased, because I did not expect that it was going to come out this good. And see, standing here, if I catch the light just right, I still see a really deep scratch right there. I don't know if I can. Yeah, I think you guys can pick it up now, but man, that is so deep. Whew. Your fingernail just doesn't catch on it. You can actually feel your fingernails sink down into it. So it's really deep. Those kind of scratches, no amount of detailing is going to get those out, in my opinion. Yeah, you know, the only way to make that thing look brand new is to repaint the whole door. And at this point, for a daily driver that hauls around kids and grandkids and all that kind of stuff, and groceries, I mean, it gets driven every single day. You know, I think this is probably very good for most people. What do you say, Jan Michael? You think so, Miss Linda? I think most people will be very happy with this. And bear in mind now, this has what little polymer protection all these products I use today left behind. But so one of my last steps will be paint prepping all this, and then I'm going to put the TR8 DPC titanium sealant on there. They did not want the coating, and I'm not sure I would have recommended it anyway for a car in this situation. I can still see a little cloudiness right there, but I'm not sure if it's just, I think it's just residue smudge that I didn't wipe off. So I'm going to get on to the passenger side here shortly, Jan Michael, which should be much easier than this side was. There aren't really any really deep scratches on that side that I can recall It's mostly micro marring, love marks, that kind of thing. And the front end and the rear end shouldn't be too bad. But I got my, that's mostly dirt splatter from when I was working. There's one or two deep scratches like that one right there. That scratch, I might be able to make it look better, but I think it's down to the substrate. So you can't fix that. Maybe I can level it out just a little bit. But I'll get busy on this side soon. There's a couple rock chips here. Those will not go away. Should be able to clean these mirrors up fairly well. This piano black here should clean up relatively well. That's a chip in it right there. Nothing I can do about that. I'll polish all this up just like I did on the other side. These pillar posts. That's a lot of fingerprints right there, I think. So this one I don't think is going to take me near as long as the other side did. I may have to do a little spot sanding here and there on this side, but I won't have to sand the entire panels like I did on the other side. There's a few spots here and there that I may whip out the little 3000 grit and do it by hand. There's some scuff marks, but I think most of those are surface marks, and I think they'll just buff right off with a one step and an orange Lake Country pad. And this stuff here, I talked about this in an earlier video. It's kind of a smudging. I can't feel it. I've looked at it under a magnifying glass, and I can't tell if it's something on the surface of the clear coat or if it's a defect in the base coat and then they just cleared right over the top of it. It looks like somebody put their fingerprints on there. It might buff off, but I don't think so. I don't know what you guys think about it, but yeah. So I'm going to get started on this side pretty soon. And then I'll come back, maybe, at a later date and catch you guys up again. I appreciate y'all dropping by. I hope you're having a good pre-Christmas week. I got to get this car done. I've got, Jan Michael, I've probably got a half a dozen people waiting, and not for wash and shines. I don't do those except for maintenance customers. This is all I do, is this kind of stuff here, what I call more of a restorative detailing, paint correction, enhancement. Some people say those terms are interchangeable. In my opinion, they are not. To me, paint enhancement is much different than paint correction. What I'm doing here is paint correction. For example, what I did on that front fender on the other side, that was paint enhancement because it did not need correction. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Trying to figure out the differences in all these terms that my industry has come up with. You may remember I restored those headlights. They came out really good. Happy with those. Put the Cerakote trim coat on those, Jan Michael. You may know what that is. I don't know. I buy it by the box full. Love that stuff. It's a game changer in many situations. It's an easy product to apply. It's basically wipe on and walk away. And it comes out looking just like that. Hard to beat. Hard to beat. A little bit pricey, just a wee bit. But hey, that's all right. That's all right. But I'm going to get back to work now, and I appreciate you guys. Have a great holiday. You know what they say? Like, tag, share, follow, thumbs up, thumbs down, comment, all that kind of stuff. The main reason I do these videos is for those who enjoy watching stuff about cars and detailing and blah, blah, blah. And hopefully maybe some of you will learn something that don't know what I'm doing. And if you have a question about what products I use, what equipment, pads, procedures, any of that, if you'll just shoot me a PM, I'll be glad to answer those questions for you. If I don't know the answer, I'll get the answer. But I used, in some places on this today, I used HD Speed. I used every kind of polisher there is, different size polishers. I used everything from the old-fashioned wool pad on a big DeWalt rotary buffer. I call that thing the beast because it's a monster, but damn, that thing's heavy. Whew. I like the newer technology buffers because they are much, much lighter. And I used the 15 millimeter throw dual action. I used a little 3-inch. I used the nano polisher. I used the forced rotation, wool pads, hybrid pads, orange Lake Country pads, which are kind of a medium pad, black Lake Country finishing pads. I used Coke Chemi final, what do they call it? Max Cut Max compound. I used the final finish polish with the black pads. I mean, I used a lot of different stuff on this car. I got that, and it's piled up everywhere. Inspection, handheld inspection lights, head inspection lights, every light I got in this garage going, got my heat going. Used my paint thickness gauge, my paint temperature gauge. You can see my garage thermometer over there. I monitor the temperature and the humidity in here to try to keep it within the range where these products work to the maximum effect. Once you get much below 60, 50 degrees or above 80, a lot of these products don't want to work properly. They will work still, but they become more difficult. And the humidity also affects them as well. So anyway, all right, folks, I appreciate you. Everybody have a great day. Oh, there's my inspection lights. Got that magnet on it stuck to my anvil there, or whatever you call that thing. All right, folks, thank you. I'll catch you guys later. Merry Christmas.